Hey everybody, welcome back to the Miniac, and in today's episode we are doing something a little bit different. I am in my parents' garage because we're going to be doing some work on my car. We have partnered with Archaic lighting and we're going to be installing new taillights. But first, we're going to unbox them. So here's the box, and these are the new taillights. But first, a little bit of background about why we are doing this. So you see, part of the problem with the new Minis, I don't think it's a problem, but a lot of people out there do, they don't like the new taillights. They don't like the triangular shape of them. They would much rather have these, which were the previous Union Jack taillights. So the weird thing is on the Convertible for the new generation, they kept the same shape, but did something a little bit different. They created a matrix taillight that has different modes in it and just looks a little bit different, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more modern. So what Archaic did is they created a retrofit taillight that fits perfectly onto this car and includes a remote control to make all of those functions happen for the taillights. So I will effectively give my car a modern look, but I went one step further, and you'll see what that is in a second. So inside this beautifully padded, nicely done box, and I'm gonna move some stuff out of the way because I got a little bit going on over here. So we're gonna get that folded down. Comes your instructions for the taillights. Now they fit the 2014 to 2024 models, and it gives you a little bit of detail, the running light, the brake light, turn signal, all these other little features, the plugs, and the different modes, which are basically the same as the other taillights. Now it also includes a lovely little app here that you're going to download so that you can control these features. Now, there is a rule in some countries that you cannot have taillights or headlights that you can control or modify, but in this particular package, it was designed to fit US safety standards and guidelines, so I don't see any problem with installing these. They do offer the app for Google Play and Android as well as iPhone, so we're gonna have a little fun here. But you can do all sorts of little stuff here. In the main case, the only thing that this app can really do for us is it can control the light modes. Now, always read your steps and make sure you do this correctly. Don't make any mistakes. You may need to use the Beamer Code app to change some codes for your taillights if you don't already have LED taillights, but it looks pretty straightforward. We'll check assembly, we'll do all this stuff. Now, let's open this box and see what we got. This is just a cover, and there they are. Now, as you can see, this is a slightly different color taillight. I chose the gray ones over red. Now, fairly hefty assembly here, but you can see what a dramatic difference that will be on this car. Now, you'll also notice there is a trim ring in here. These come with new taillight rings in case you happen to break yours when you pull them off the car. Now, here's the problem. Mine's an anniversary edition, and those are white painted. So if I break that, I'm in trouble. But I'm hopeful that that doesn't happen. These are not usually held on that securely. You can pretty much pop them loose with a trim removal tool, and I happen to have one of those here. I also have a set of tools here to remove different bits and so forth. Bought it on Amazon. Pretty cool. Works for me, so I'm going to use that. I also have my drills in case I need them. But everything is here, and if we take it out of the bag, there's our taillight assembly. Pretty straightforward, deep smoked. And then, of course, the little module right there that controls the ability of the lights to change function. So first things first, we have to get that light off the car. So let's do it. Always be careful when removing these. Don't want to break anything, especially if you intend on reusing your trim. I see some little guides I might have broken, but no clips are broken. So I consider that a win. Good. All right. So we have a screw at the top and we have two screws at the bottom. And if I remember correct, those are T20s. I'm going to double check just to make absolutely sure. Yep, T20s. So use this tool. Reason I'm going to use hand tools is because I don't want to risk breaking anything here. And you can sometimes break things if you're a little too slap happy with power tools. And I've encountered some technicians that like to use those things to the point of breaking them or damaging your car. So carefully remove the screw. As you can see, it wasn't very tight to begin with, so it's not going to be a huge deal to carefully remove. Take that screw out there, take that screw out here. While you're at it though, pop the little trim cover off the inside here so you get access to the back of your taillight, because you will need that as well. Hold on to your hardware. You don't want to lose any of it because you're going to need to reuse the hardware. I'm not sure if this new light system comes with hardware because I haven't checked yet, but I don't believe it does. Screws are out. So now, carefully jiggle it loose, and got them all loose. Okay, so the reason why I say it's important to read the instructions, there is a clip in the back side of the tail light at the bottom here and at the bottom here, and you have to press those to release the tail light. Once the tail light is out, find the connector and then just remove it. So there you go. This is the stock JCW tail light. So here is our aftermarket unit. Leave the plastic on as long as possible so you don't scratch the new finish. You're going to need to find a place inside the taillight housing to attach this module, and I honestly think rather than attaching it to the car, that attaching it to the back of the taillight might be a smarter bet. What do you think? So I'm going to go ahead and do that just because it keeps things tidy and I don't have to worry about ripping something off the body of the car later. So now that we've done that, we're going to take this, we're going to carefully, gingerly, don't drop anything, plug this back in, make sure you align it correctly, make sure it's not going to come loose, and there you go. That already looks very different. So now that you've done that, pull the film off the edges just a hair, make sure everything looks nice. Find your locations to reattach your screws and put those back in. Don't over tighten, you don't need to, but these are also not a specific light where you have to worry about aligning them like a headlight. So as long as it's snug and installed correctly, you should be good to go. All right, let's put the trim ring on and move to the next one, and then we'll start getting everything else set up. Okay, so a cool little trick I learned to take these tail light frames off without breaking them. Rather than come around the outside of the frame, if you go around from the inside of the frame and just pull it away from the tail light slightly, it'll actually pop loose a lot cleaner. This one took me like 3 seconds to pop loose. Okay, so I suppose the real test to see if these work correctly would be to come up behind the car with the key fob. I like it. I really do. That was cool. Now if I lock it, okay. Oh, I could get used to that. Okay, so there is a problem with these taillights. So the one I showed you on the driver's side did that cool animation, but the passenger side one doesn't do any of that at all for some reason, and I'm not sure why. So I'm gonna have to take this one off and figure out what happened. Okay, so now the lights are working correctly. That's JCW mode. That's regular mode. Union jack mode. I personally like the JCW mode. Now let's see how the turn signals look. Okay, so in the US market, those still function as turn signals, which means that the amber turn signal function does not work in the US market for these taillights. That's kind of cool. Now I wonder which one is the brake light. So the outside light is the brake light as well. Okay. As it is, those look freaking awesome. I like that particular taillight. Now, if I can also turn off the animation. So if I decide the animation on here is annoying, I can just flip that off And then I can just go boom, boom, and just do whatever the heck I want. Now, I don't think you can change brightness on these, so I'm not going to touch that. But that is pretty slick. So let's button everything up and see how this looks when it's all completed. And there you have it. Overall look, pretty impressive. Union jack taillight. And if I control it with my remote control from the app, I can change it to whichever one I wish. Nicely set up. Now really, as far as these taillights go, I think they look great. It really gives the car a very different look. They aesthetically look fantastic, obviously, but my only complaint, and this is the only complaint, is I can't get the trim ring to clip onto the top of the taillight right there. That clip is a little thicker on the taillight than it is on the OEM taillight. But otherwise, I like how it looks. I like how they fit. They function well. And I didn't actually have to go in and do any coating. So there you have it. These beautiful taillights inspired by the F67 Convertible, and you can get them from Archaic Lighting. I will include a link to this taillight on my video description, but fantastic taillight. I think it installed really easily. I think it looks good, and I want to thank them for sending me this product to test out on my car. Look for more upgrades. I got more things planned for this vehicle coming down the road, especially with everything else that's been going on. So, not sure if I'm going to keep the white trim, honestly. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking maybe it should go black. But let me know in the comments what you think. Black or keep it white? And until next time, thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, check out more content on this channel at the end of this video.